Imagine it's 2019 and you decide that you want to start recording your podcast on video. You purchase the camera and then you stop posting those episodes to YouTube in spite of people telling you that you're crazy, that is not a podcast. And in spite of the people in the industry telling you also that what you are making is not a podcast. But you continue, you keep on posting episodes, and fast forward to 2026, you are now invited to be on Netflix. Crazy, right? That has been the story of a lot of creators that started their podcast with audio only, or they started posting their video podcast on YouTube, or their transition from audio to video, and they've been consistently posting episodes, growing their audience on YouTube, and then now they have a big audience and Netflix wants to have a piece of that pie for them, and that's how podcast creators are being recruited by Netflix to have their shows there on Netflix or brand new shows that they're creating exclusively for Netflix. Our podcast becoming the next television. That's what we are going to, or I'm going to be talking about today in this video, in this live stream. I'm very excited, guys, because I am managing the whole live stream through this magical box. I mean, who is this? I'm able to switch between different camera angles because I have two cameras. And also I have my slides right here that I'll be showing to you during this presentation, which is pretty cool, that I can just sit here, talk to you, relax, and also managing my two cameras and my presentation. So let's go back to what we're talking about today, which is our podcast becoming the new television. And the reason why I'm making this episode is because this is a question I've been seeing people asking on social media. There have been since 2019. And after the whole 2021 debacle with social distancing and things that we don't want to remember, there were more and more creators turning their cameras on, recording themselves, recording a podcast and posting those episodes on YouTube. And there were a lot of people in the industry who were not very happy that they were calling this a podcast, and they were opposing to this idea of having a podcast being video. And there were a lot of them who were arguing, okay, well, a podcast is supposed to be an audio only medium, and who is going to be watching people just sit and having conversations, long conversations, like nobody's going to watch that. Well, fast forward to today, we have a lot of those shows on Netflix. Netflix, up until today, has enlisted or has on its platform 60 shows, and they are podcasts. They're like 45-minute, an hour, 2-hour long episodes of people talking, and they have been a hit, just the same as they have been a hit on YouTube as well. They are getting a lot of popularity on Netflix too. So this era of like big network TV with millions of dollars being invested in production and the big production sets with crew members, many people working on a production, you don't see that anymore, or that's kind of disappearing. If you are a child of my generation, which I'm not going to tell you, I'm old. Okay, back in the day, TV shows were planned for months and sometimes years before they would be televised or they will be broadcasted to people. And these shows were mainly will rely on the notoriety or the famousness, for lack of a better word. I don't know if that's a word, but famousness. It's a word now of the person who was hosting the show. So for example, and I'm going to bring you an example later here in the video, which I'm going to compare the Drew Barrymore Show with show of one of my favorite creators on YouTube. What we're seeing right now is creators just taking control over media and taking control over shows and being invited to host shows on big networks. And that is something that we would never imagine. Back then, you needed to have the connections, you needed to have a career in Hollywood, you needed to be hanging out with the right people in order for you to TV network to bet on you and to spend $20 million, $30 million, $50 million in the production of your show. And then after that, you have to hope that people really would come through and they will watch your show, so your contract would be renewed year after year, and the TV show will be a success. Well, now things are reversed. Creators like you and me, somebody recording their shows from their living rooms, having maybe a very small studio, just recording content and posting that content on YouTube and growing a massive audience and growing a massive following, people who want to, who love them and who love the content that they make, and that tune in, come back every week after week after week to watch the content that you make. And that's very powerful. You also see this with independent journalists, how some of them have been fired from big news networks, and they have created their own shows on YouTube, and they are having a massive success too. And now they don't have to say, or they don't have to communicate or support any ideas, but their own ideas and their own investigative efforts that they put on each episode. So I think that's a very interesting shift that we're seeing right now, and it's also very hopeful for you if you are a new creator, that you can get from recording right there in your studio at home all the way to be somebody who's well known and loved by millions of people. That's something that we're seeing right now. So, because I got curious, okay, I want to go and see if I can find some of the statements that were made back in 2019, back in 2020, where video podcasting was just something that people were doing out of desperation because they got tired of recording audio-only episodes that would go nowhere. So they started thinking, okay, well, now I just want to leverage a platform that can show my show to other people, that has an algorithm, that has millions and millions of people on the platform. And what better platform for this than YouTube? People started to post their content there on YouTube, and these are some of the comments that I found. Some people very passionate defending how their idea that podcasts were audio only, and that the video podcasting was not a podcast, and that people that were coming from radio that got into podcasting, they were very passionate about this idea of podcasts being audio only. Then we have this new wave of creators who decided to start making videos and posting those videos online. And then we have the example that I'm bringing for you today, and that is Stephanie Soo with Rotten Mango. Rotten Mango happens to be one of my favorite shows, one of my favorite podcasts. My daughter, who's a Gen Z, she mentioned it one day, Mom, you should listen to it because I am into true crime. She knows that I love true crime. So she introduced me to Stephanie Soo. I'm like, what am I going to be listening to, to this Gen Z talking about crime? Well, I got hooked, and I've been watching the episodes since. I'm excited because her new show on Netflix is going to be released tomorrow, and it's called The Rotten Files. And after she started on YouTube many, many years ago, her digital blueprint goes back to probably 8 to 10 years ago when she was very young, when she started posting YouTube videos, and she started with something totally different than what she does right now. I think if you've been a creator for a while, you have that too, that you started creating something different that you're not very proud of. But you have to start somewhere, okay? You have to start caring so much about what people say. So that's how she started posting videos, and then from there, from the type of videos that she used to post, she started doing more storytelling type of content, and then she got into true crime, and now her YouTube channel is I think as big as I don't know how many subscribers up until this point she has, but she has close to, I think, 7 million subscribers on YouTube. And then earlier this year, she announced that she was going to be starting a new show. It's a true crime show for Netflix, and that's the Rotten Files. Very exciting if you think about if you're dreaming about having your own show, if you're dreaming about like maybe one day have something and opportunities like this to come your way. You know, the only thing, and I say it very often, the only thing different from you and somebody like Stephanie Soo is that she just kept posting her content. She never stopped, and she was always trying to improve her craft, and also taking into account that she was making her show for people, for her audience, and that's how she got to be in this point where she's going to have a Netflix show. Like how cool. I got very curious, and I wanted to know the difference between how it was to put together a TV show back in the day, or the new TV shows that you see, like the Drew Barrymore Show, compared to a creator like Stephanie Soo. So for example, the starting point for every show is the personality behind the show. This is something that CBS and the other TV networks, they really invest on. For the Drew Barrymore Show, well, this is her show, and she was an internationally famous person. She's been in multiple movies. She was in E.T., so she was a well-known actress. But, Stephanie Soo started like any other creator on YouTube, just posting videos from having just 0 subscribers all the way to having almost 7 million subscribers. The audience before all the investment in the Drew Barrymore Show, Drew Barrymore, yes, was an internationally famous movie star, but there was no proven audience for her. Like she was not very active on social media or had a show like that before. But with a creator, a YouTube creator, if you happen to be a YouTube creator, then all of your digital footprint is there on YouTube for people to see, and all of the views that you're getting on your videos, and all of the subscribers that you have accumulated over time. For Rotten Mango, it was millions of subscribers before she made the jump to have a show on Netflix. The demonstrated audience, so far, this is what I was able to find online. The Drew Barrymore Show has 1.6 million TV viewers per day, and Rotten Mango has a 6.75 million subscribers, 21 billion lifetime views, and about 3.3 million views per long form video. So every time she posts an episode of Rotten Mango, she gets about an average of 3 million views for that episode, and she releases episodes weekly. The distribution, CBS secured 85% of the US distribution of television households before they even released the Drew Barrymore Show. Stephanie, on the other side, she built her own distribution. She started posting her episodes on YouTube, distributing her audio to Apple Podcasts, having the Rotten Mango video on Spotify for creators as well. So all of her distribution she built with her team and her husband, which is behind the scenes helping her to produce her show. The investment for the Drew Barrymore Show, there was an initial investment of $20.8 million. This has been documented. This is how much they spent before they launched the show. They have spent an estimated of between 25 million to 35 million per season. I don't know how many seasons of the Drew Barrymore Show have been released, but that's the estimated that they invest every time they launched a new season. We don't have how much, I couldn't find how much the investment is to create an episode for Rotten Mango. I know that she has mentioned many times that she has a team of people. I don't know anything about her studio or any of that, but I would dare to say that it's not $20 million per season, or, that is not in the millions of dollars. The estimated compensation, I found that Drew Barrymore gets between $3 and $8 million per season. We don't know how much Stephanie Soo is gonna get from Netflix, but that's how I found from my research. So what is Netflix buying? What is Netflix all of a sudden just including video podcasting on their platform and are getting more and more shows to be on the platform? Well, a lot of the shows that Netflix produced, they are seasonal. So you watch the season, or maybe there are like 3 or 4 seasons, you binge the season and then that's it. And you may not, turn your TV to watch Netflix again for a while, or you have to wait for the next season of that TV show to come up for you to keep watching. With podcasting, imagine you have, maybe it's a solo show, or you have there's another show, I think it's called Murder with My Husband. So it's the host and her husband, and they talk about also true crime stories, and they released episodes. They're on Netflix, and every week they released an episode, and their episodes are an hour and a half. In that case, they will have somebody watching the whole time, and then they'll keep coming back because there are no seasons. It's a show that has episodes that are released weekly. So that is what Netflix is after, is what YouTube is after as well. They want people to be on the platform, to come back and see the same creator, and to spend more time on the platform, and not just to watch 1 episode or 2 of a TV show and then be done with watching Netflix. What does this mean for you as a creator? Well, as a new creator, this means that it's a very exciting time for creators, because now there's nothing that will limit you as far as thinking or dreaming how far you can go. Like literally, you only need the personality. You just need to have a camera and to have just very little equipment and start recording and posting content on YouTube. And that way you start growing your audience there on YouTube. So that's one of the things that creator shows are what people want right now. Like if you ask me how many shows on Netflix are you watching right now, I'm going to tell you that I am not watching Netflix, but I am watching YouTube, and I'm watching independent journalists on YouTube, and I'm watching shows of independent creators more than any Netflix show that I'm not watching Netflix anymore. That's why there's this shift between us just getting our news and getting, all of the events that are happening right now, whether they're political or whether they are global events, or just to know about, what your favorite celebrity is doing in Hollywood. Then there's an independent creator just bringing you the story. We don't have to wait for a TV show to tell you what's going on. That's another thing, that because there's not a lot of planning, because it's just one creator and maybe a team of researchers helping the creator, then things move quickly than in a big production. And that's why creators are being so desirable right now. One show can live everywhere. If you want to start your new show, you don't have to be on just one platform. If you build your distribution strategy in a way that you record one long episode and then you extract little clips from that episode, then you can be on different platforms. Also, you can do your RSS audio only distribution to the podcast platforms. You can post also those episodes to Spotify for creators, and then your show will be video. People will be able to watch your show on video on Spotify as well. So it's a matter of you just building a distribution strategy that will give you the most of the content that you create. Because if you grow in one platform, let's say that you're experiencing slow grow on YouTube, but then your clips are getting a lot of likes and a lot of views on TikTok, then you will attract an audience from TikTok to your main show. And that's the whole thing. That's the reason why we want to do distribution strategy, just so we can have our audience from different platforms, from different places. Creating has never been easier and cheaper. Right now you can buy a camera, a webcam like this. Right now, as we speak, we're testing on different types of cameras and equipment to do this live stream. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on a camera or a microphone. You can start recording your content that is going to look professional, that is going to look very good, and you don't have to break the bank. And then, your personality is the advantage. Your personality is what's going to set you apart. Your personality is what people are going to be there for. You don't have to be anybody else. You don't have to copy anybody else. When we started making content, there was a lot of, you need to be like this person, or you need to talk like this person. The more you are you, the more you just relax into what makes you different, into what makes you you and what makes you unique. That is what is going to attract your people. If you show up and you record your content and you have, maybe you're just trying to be somebody else, or you're not showing yourself the way you are, then how are you going to find your people? How are you going to find your tribe that will help you grow and will stay with you during this journey? That's the advantage that we all have. Sometimes it seems like it's a disadvantage, like, I have this and I have, I'm not very good. I don't look good on camera, or maybe I'm not very eloquent, or I'm not funny, or I'm monotone, or I'm too out there, like over the top, or I'm not, whatever it is that you have in your mind that is stopping you from creating content. That is the very thing that will help you succeed in content creation, believe it or not. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this episode and this live stream. If you're watching this live, this is part of Podcast Your Way. This is Yap Your Way, is our show. If you're interested in starting a podcast, and if you, after this episode, you are, Veronica, I'm ready to start recording, then we can support you that way. Go to podcastyourway.com, and there we can help you get that show all the way from idea to you feeling confident recording on video and having those episodes on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and you are off to a good start creating content that is good quality, that it has a purpose, and that also has strategy behind it, so you can grow on YouTube fast, so you can experience what it is to have a big community, a big audience supporting you and connecting with people that way and making a contribution, because creating content is super fun. Putting yourself out there is fun. And I am here. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments, and make sure that you come back next week for more Yap Your Way. Bye.